So, Tim, I wanted to ask you some questions in this episode about ghosting. So, what are your Tim? Where's Tim? Have I been ghosted?
Well, of course, you haven't been ghosted, baby. I would never ghost you.
Ladies, it happens to the best of us.
This is true. This is true.
And then, so this is considered a circle in the block. You came back.
Well, I never left.
Oh, maybe I'm so traumatized. I thought you were gone.
I'm here, baby. I'm still here.
So, Tim Eulica here. Welcome back to our channel, to those people who are returning, and welcome to the new people. Hey, y'all.
Yes. Welcome.
So we're excited to have you today. The topic is going to be, we've already kind of touched on it, 5 reasons why men over 50 ghost.
Yes.
And Tim, you're on the hot spot today. Are you a man over 50?
Well over 50. Yes.
Are you dating?
I'm dating
Are
you. I'm exclusively dating you.
Okay.
Yes.
So we had a conversation about ghosting, and it's happened to me. I've done it. I've sprinkled, done it a little bit, but I wanted to talk about that. And Tim is so gracious to be on the hot seat today
On the hot seat.
to talk about, from a man's perspective, the reasons why.
And just full disclosure, ladies, and I apologize for all the men who have ghosted you. But in my earlier lifetime, I was a serial ghoster myself.
Explain serial.
You know, we're probably going to get into the nuts and bolts of why men ghost, but for me, my reasons is in my own limited thinking, I didn't want to hurt a woman by telling her my true feelings.
So that
And
might
so
be the reason.
I would
Okay.
just drift off into Never Land.
I get it.
You know?
So before we get into it, so please stay tuned. We have a question of the week
Yes.
that we're going to talk. We want to hear from you. So before we get into it, I just want to kind of explain to the men what ghosting does to a woman.
Mhm.
So we are built by God to be hopeful, to see the future. It's not that we are like dreamy people. No, we're God made us to have children and see them at 18 years old when they're born. Like God made us to plan, to nurture. And every time we get into a new situation, even if I just met you at the grocery store, I'm like, oh my God, I met this nice guy. I'm not planning my whole life with you, but there is an excitement that comes to meeting someone new.
I understand.
And so there's an anticipation, and I'll get into something else too later on, but it's kind of hurtful when a man, and you don't know why. And we'll get into the Jasmine Sullivan song too, Girl Like Me, because she kind of touches on the breakup and not knowing why.
Yeah.
So let's get into the 5 reasons why men ghost. You're on the hot seat. So the first one says they are still emotionally healing from the past.
And this could be true with a lot of men, especially over 50. You know, we've gone through a lot. We may be fresh off of divorce. You know, we're still dealing with child custody and child support issues.
So it could be
It
financial.
could be financial, and long and short of it is we're not completely emotionally healed from our past relationship. And you know, we're just maybe not in a good headspace to date. And men are not we're not the best communicators. We're not, but we're in a bad mental headspace, and we don't know how to tell you this without feeling vulnerable.
Understood.
Because for Black men especially, when you're not healed, not all the way there, it could be a sign of weakness. And some women might perceive
And
it
I
as
think
a
we perceive it to be as that you're still it's immature and
Right.
cowardly,
Right.
that you cannot communicate
Yeah.
to that. And I know we women can be, especially as Black women, we're gonna cuss you out. I think you need to accept the cussing out.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
let the emotion be, or whatever the insult be.
But men, we have very fragile egos too.
Okay.
So I don't know how much of men allowing women to dress them down like that is going to be
And I
good.
think it also depends on how long you've known the person. Are we talking about ghosting after, like, I met you at the grocery store, I gave you my number, you never called? Or have we talked a couple of times? Or have we been on one date and now it's fizzling out? Or is it after you done got the goodies, you done got the cookies, you're disappearing on me? I think it's levels to
I'm going to be
this.
honest. For me, it was all the above.
Ooh.
I mean, I may have ghosted you even after we may have been involved a year or more, but it's just things have changed. The dynamics in my life.
And you
have
didn't know how to
break it
express.
to. I really didn't know how to break it to that woman gently.
Okay. So not emotionally healing from the past. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We will buy that. All right. Number 2 is they are really not ready for a relationship.
So this goes back to the first point. And not being ready for a relationship could involve a lot of stuff. Involve financial. Maybe we're not in a financial place to wine and dine a woman. We don't know how to tell you that. Maybe we're not in a relationship. Maybe we're still living on our brother's couch. We're not prepared.
And you can't really predict where you will meet a person and when.
Nor can you predict where you're going to be at in stages of your life.
Correct.
Because divorce I suspect men and women are tough, but I think it's harder on men because it's mostly the men that have to start all over from scratch.
Because the kids are going to
stay in the
stable.
home. The man have to now find a place. He's going to take on the brunt of the financial responsibility, maybe alimony, child support. So, he may not be ready financially or mentally.
And we have another video, a promo called Are You Ready Today? Are you really ready today? And it kind of touches on the things you should assess in yourself to see if you're ready today.
That's right.
And I don't even know, and I'm feeling more compassionate now. Because it might be hard to say to a person, hey, I don't have it together right now, or I'm not through this divorce or this breakup, or you might still live with your ex.
And all of those are looked down upon by women.
Correct.
But, that's maybe where the man is at that time. Because he's there right now doesn't mean he's always going to be there. But he's probably having a hard time letting you know that that's where he is because of judgment. I mean, sometimes women can judge a situation too.
I get it. And I would say my only caveat to men here is that you got to make a decision.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you get to live between two worlds, two households. And you're also telling this woman, hey, I'm not ready for, you can't be telling 3 different women you're not ready for a relationship. Like you got to, and just for the purpose of bouncing around between them.
I would agree.
Yeah. And it's, yeah.
Not a good look.
So, talk to me about the fear of rejection or inadequacy creeps in.
So, when I was younger, I was probably a lot more active in everything, more virile, sexually. I was probably a dynamo. I'm okay now. Still,
Well,
I'm okay. Baby, tell them I'm still okay. But
I'm okay. I'm happy.
But things happen as men ages. You got erectile dysfunctions that's happening. Certain medications might affect a man's ability to do things that he used to, not be able to do things that he used to do. And those things are, fears of rejection, inadequacy. You feel kind of like you're not your 100% self. And you don't want to, go into a relationship knowing these things in the back of your head that, hey, I may not be able to satisfy this woman.
So could the inadequacy also be financial? Because I have
Yes.
found during my dating stint that some men were comfortable with me until they found out our comparative economic status. Now, we didn't talk numbers.
Mhm.
That is just their observation of me, maybe learn. And so I felt a little ghosting happening on me. Them kind of pulling back. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, let's keep it a buck. I mean, women over 50 got it going on. I mean, I'm just going to call it like I see it. I mean, I see the vast majority of women have their own home. They have maybe 2 cars in the garage. They got the good toilet paper, like you said.
Good toilet paper and
Okay.
good hand wash.
And
We do have good hand wash.
All right. And men may not have their stuff together for any number of reasons. Divorce probably being the number one reason, because maybe they've taken a financial hit they don't know how to express that. And so they would probably shy away from you if things get too serious. If it's surface, they can skirt around it.
But I have a my opinion of that as a woman who was separated and now divorced, that my ex was not going to let me be homeless, but that also meant he might have had to go buy a couch. You understand what I'm saying?
Correct.
So I think it's more, I think women have to be more gracious when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And also, so I am not comfortable being in a relationship with you if your children are not okay, if your exes are left destitute. Some women who are broken, and some of y'all mean girls are out there, I don't want y'all to turn away. We're saying this in love. Some of y'all like the other woman suffering. Mm-hmm. So sometimes the more masculine thing is to take less. So he might just have one couch and one bottle of soda in the refrigerator because he's starting over, because he's not going to tear his house down. Even though they decided to go separate ways, he's starting over. So that might mean his money might not, because he's getting up, while also might be paying child support.
Right.
And I think some women are very inflexible when it comes to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And and please, when it comes to those kind of things that men have going on, do not try to make them choose between you and his child.
Exactly. I think
that's not a good look.
What you want more than a man with money is a man with character,
dignity.
He can get. He's going to get his money back up.
Yes.
He's going to the divorce, the house is going to say all that stuff.
We're going to get it back.
It's going to work out, but I think you have to also look at the track record and what the man is trying to do.
Give grace.
Yes, grace. Because you would want grace because you're on the flip side of that in your own relationship.
That's right.
And you wouldn't want your ex or your baby leaving you in a bind, because that is not a masculine thing.
No.
So I wanted to remind everybody to like and subscribe.
Please like and subscribe. I mean, our subscribership is growing, but we need it to grow fast.
We need you.
And if you like the contents, and we see a lot of you do, we're actually shocked to learn that our demographics are individuals between the ages of 35 and 44.
Of what sex?
Men.
Mostly men are watching.
60% of men. So women, come on now.
You better come on.
Jump in the water. It's warm.
So, because I think we're talking from a balanced perspective.
Yes.
We're coming from the male and female perspective.
And we're not bashing anybody.
Also, no shade to any other channels out there. People are giving dating advice, but they've been married for 30 years.
Sure.
We are dating. We live in separate households. I actually get called, hey, would you like to do this? Dates are arranged. We plan trips. We do not we are actually dating.
We are.
And I don't think there are a lot of channels. Y'all can call me out. Put them in the chat. If there are other couples who are successfully, non-dramatically dating,
yes,
and giving us, so we're giving our experience of the actual dating. So I'm very grateful for the men who have come up.
Yes.
Ladies, I'm just saying, they're here hanging out, so you can place a comment, and they might see you.
I'm telling you, drop a line in the chat. Some men out there, let's check it out.
So we're building a community. Please like and subscribe our videos. We're growing. We're growing. We've been doing really well.
Yes.
So back into it. Number 4, dating multiple people and you pick someone else.
So so this have actually happened to me. I was dating. Really, maybe necessarily wasn't dating for long-term reasons, but that one kind of crept into my life. And I've been hanging out with this particular girl who that I wasn't as interested in as the new girl, and we were kind of building a bond. I met her family. She may have met mine, and someone else came through that really made my record skip, and I did not know how to tell her that.
That actually happened with you. That happened for me. I was, because let's put a pin in this and define dating.
Yes.
Dating means that you are seeing multiple people.
Doesn't mean you're sleeping with all of them.
It does not mean, but you have not made a commitment.
Right.
So dating might mean but we're in a committed relationship. Yes. So we ain't talking about him.
Right.
You can't date him. So
off the market.
Off the market. But when we were first dating just because you meet a person today doesn't magically mean everybody else disappeared in their life.
Correct.
And I think we got to get out of the high school mentality that when you grab somebody, we go together. Like life doesn't work that way.
I've had women say to me, if we make milk and cookies, we go together. Now, theoretically, that sounds, like the logical next step, but some men are not there. You can't just assume.
And some women are not there.
Because you've given up the goodies that all of a sudden now you're in a committed relationship.
And I think the reason that thinking, to me, it's like elementary school when that's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I think that has gotten us into the relationships we've gotten into in the past. Because you locked into somebody who you did not know, did not understand about, didn't understand your differences and your disagreements. So dating is the time for gathering information,
flush it out,
learning the different views, the different hobbies, and it takes time. Yeah. So you might have to be dating, and you have to be clear about that. Yes. I am dating multiple people, but I would like to get to know you better. And then there came a point in our relationship where we declared that we were exclusive.
I think the conversation was, hey, listen, I want to be exclusive with you.
Yes,
but a man have to verbally say that. But you can't just assume that.
True. And on the ghosting tip, so what happened is when I started talking to you, before we even met in person, the other people started to fade. Mm-hmm. I started to respond less. Look at him smiling.
She knew.
We talked for 45 days straight before we met in person. But During COVID. Yeah. So it was really, I learned so much about him. I mean, really. And I guess I was a baby ghoster. So those people like, hey, you haven't heard from you. And I just wasn't responding because I was waiting on Tim's call. And living my life or whatever. So I think you have to be open to the fact that you don't always have to be chosen. And do you want somebody to lock in on you? I think that's sometimes why maybe we're divorced, other people have broken up, because you locked in on somebody and then you realize that we have an impasse that cannot be reconciled. Right. And that might have been, not 100%, but that might have been a conversation in month 2, month 3 that came up. There's a difference.
It could have saved you years of heartache.
Exactly. And we trying to change people. We all have been there. Yeah. That's what the argument is. Yeah. Me trying to change your opinion. Right. And that could have been alleviated. So don't be so dramatic, my sisters, about him picking somebody else. Sometimes you need to shout. Because you might have missed a bullet.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And dating is dating for data, that you're trying to learn about people. Right. And you cannot block out everybody because you met somebody today on Tuesday and I'm not talking to nobody. And I think that's why women get so upset too. Yeah. Because we put all our eggs in one basket.
Don't do it.
And then you find out this dude has no job, lives on somebody's couch because you cut this other person off. You didn't give them a chance.
And very fluent in Madden. On video games. You don't have no job, and he's an expert.
And he might sell shoes. That's a common thing. I don't know what that is. Yeah. Grown men in shoes. So dating multiple people is okay. So finally, they don't know how to execute. Tim, one thing I would say about Tim, he's a very, very nice guy.
Maybe too nice.
So
maybe too nice. This is true about me.
So you've had incidents where and that doesn't mean you don't like the person. You like them, you think they're great, but you also see it going in a direction that you necessarily, or just somebody is not,
So let me explain it. So even in my old age, my big age, they say, I hate seeing a woman cry. I hate seeing a woman upset. I hate the emotional part of it. I don't deal with it well. And so if I'm not feeling you and I know that it might hurt you or break your heart, and I'm not saying this is the right way to go about it, fellas. And I'm just saying it works for me. And maybe it's the wrong thing. Probably more than likely it's the wrong thing to handle it, the wrong way to handle it. I would just slowly stop calling, stop showing up, stop checking in. And just gradually kind of fade out of the picture. It's kind of like a graceful ghosting. And I know the grown man, I know there's a lot of women out there like, man up. Tell the woman, you grown now. Tell the woman what's on your mind. If you can do other things with her, adult things with her, be a man and talk to her. I'm saying that's easier said than done for a lot of men because one, a lot of men aren't, we don't deal with the emotions of women very well, and we don't want to hurt you,
Right.
and so there's just no easy way to
So
break
I'm
a
seeing
heart.
it a different. This episode is helping me because it's giving me a different perspective. So the guy who's ghosting you may have ghosted you because he is a nice guy.
Yeah.
Because there are some men, and ladies, you have seen them. I don't know if y'all have been on DC Metro, but if you like a man speaks to you, you're like, no, he said, that's why you ugly. Like they go off on you. So you're saying that the ghosters are men who might be a little more.
Some men who ghost might be, may not be the jerk or the a-hole that you think they are.
Okay.
Maybe they just don't know how to express to you that they're no longer interested and just don't know how to approach that subject.
I have a suggestion on this. So I would say, ladies, I think that we got to catch the hint. And you can say, hey, you haven't called me in 3 days. Please tell me what's going on.
Right. In my limited thinking, I'm thinking you are catching the hint when I don't
we're not.
follow through.
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. I thought about this when we talked about this topic. So if we went into a relationship, right? You want me to believe you as a man. Your word is your bond. If you say you coming to get me at 3:00, we're gonna do it. If you say, baby, we're going on vacation, you want me to believe it. If we progress to get married, if you say I'm going to work, you want me to believe it. We are trained to believe the words of men. Our fathers, if they were good, and if they weren't good, we didn't like it. We're trained that when a man who says he's a man speaks a word, it is so. And if you come to us and change it, it is so. You want us to believe you. And so I think...
Okay, let me play devil's advocate here.
Uh-oh.
So you done got your heart all wrapped up in a guy. You think he is the one. And you're telling me that if he comes to you one day out of the blue and say, hey, babe, it's not working.
It'll be upsetting. It doesn't mean there won't be emotion there.
It's not. But what if he was brutally honest? Like women say they want brutal honesty all the time. Keep it real. Y'all say, be a man. Be a man. But listen, there's some men that can't handle the truth that our egos are fragile. And there are some women who can't handle the truth.
Okay, I have a way out for you. You can say something. So you can say, hey, me and my ex, we're gonna try it again. I don't know that you're not. You can say something. And
that conversation is going to spawn a whole lot of other things in your head. Well, wait a minute, you've been messing around with her the whole time.
But that's better than saying I don't like your glasses. Or you stink. I think you got to pick your poison and find a gracious way.
When it comes to
so you think that's dangerous?
Yes, for your car, for your property, for your clothes, for your own personal. Women sometimes can go off on you. They destroy your stuff. Okay. Have you had stuff? Yes, I've had restraining orders against women. Real talk. Yes.
Because it happened in conjunction with the separation.
Yes.
So I think that
some women are very volatile out there. They're dangerous.
I would say, wow.
I'm gonna say all women, but there are some women out there.
And at a minimum, we will be hurt. And I think that is the beauty and the pain of the sexes, that we're different, that we're attracted to. And I think we got to figure out a way to navigate it. So I think it's a great place for us to enter the conversation. Yes. And our unpacking question of the week is...
Yeah, and I really want to hear from the women on this. And the men too, but I really want to hear from the women.
Because we are not mental health professionals. We're not dating experts. That's right. But we want to know, so you're no longer interested in dating someone. How do you let them know? We want to know the good, bad, and ugly.
And I got a part B to that question.
Oh, what is it?
Women, how would you like a man to handle? How would you like to know? How would you like a man to approach you if he's no longer interested? Keep it a buck.
Let
me ask you.
So I would say one is how we start the conversation. Mm-hmm. So you can't start the conversation on lies and you just trying to impress me, wine me, and dine me. We need to have real conversations about what your history is, what your whatever. And we're getting to know each other. And I think in the course of that, it could be a place for a better
But would
conversation.
you rather a man go straight in, no tact, and just be like, "Hey, listen, this ain't it no more. You're this, you're that, and the other girl just got it over you."
I don't think you
Or
have to
would
say
you,
that.
or would you want him to just try to let you down gently?
I don't think it has to be personal. I can just say it's not for me, or I'm seeing somebody else. I don't think it has to be because your butt's not big enough. I don't think it has to be personal because you still are a gracious person.
Right.
And truth be told, you cannot be mean to one woman and nice to other. You either mean or nice. So that means you are rough at handling women anyway.
Yeah.
So I've had that situation. It was very devastating. And it was because it was leading up to a big event. Can I say what it is? It was my 50th birthday. And so I was ghosted low key. So leading up, and the conversation was to me, I can't believe I'm sharing this.
I'm shocked.
And so, because he's heard the story.
Yeah.
But it was that I didn't know what for. So when I realized what it was, I cut it off and blocked everything immediately. It was kind of like the slow backing away. And I just think that it would have just been, I don't want this. Yes, I would have cried, but so I want to talk about Jasmine Sullivan's song, Girl Like Me. She has a line in there that says, she talks about people blocking or whatever. The one and she has a line. She said, "I don't even know what for." And when you do that, I sit home judging my body because you think it's about you. You think it's something. And if this has happened 3-4 times in a row, because this is kind of the culture of men, that men in general are not, communicators. And I understand it. We're all trying to do better. But if you meet a woman who's done this, is that you get to the point where I was thinking back on high school. Like I really was sitting feel like, is it me? Because I'm already going through a divorce and it really is internalized.
Well, women, I'm hoping this podcast sheds some light on that. And if Jasmine, if you're listening, sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's where we are emotionally, physically, and financial. And
so there are other reasons.
Yes, it's not just your body. It may not just be just your body. It may not just be how you carry yourself. It could be that there's some inadequacies within us, and the pride in men won't allow us to take. We're taught not to be vulnerable. Be a man. Don't cry. Toughen up. Get your butt up. Wipe yourself off. We're not taught to be vulnerable.
True.
And unless a woman provides a safe space for a man to be vulnerable.
What do you mean unless a woman
provides a safe space?
I got you. Unless.
Then he's not going to share his fears and his.
And this is a person who you don't know very well.
Right.
Most times.
Right,
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Men and women can judge, and it's going to be tough for a man, to lay out his soul in the real reasons, because there's judgment there, and then it's pride. We all have pride, so So I would say give grace. Ladies, it may not ghosting. If he's ghosting you, it may not be for the reasons you think.
And it's not you.
Yeah.
It is not. So I had to come to that conclusion.
Correct.
That it wasn't about me.
Right.
That's just his choice, and people have the right to make a choice, and the choice doesn't have to be me.
Yeah.
I think I'm better off for it.
We winning over here. We winning. We always say the good people in the relationship won.
We did win. We did win.
Yeah. But anyway, we ain't bashing no exes.
We're not. We're here about love, life, and luggage over here.
So respond to the question of the day. We want to hear from you. Please subscribe and like again.
Exactly.
From all your devices.
Introduce yourselves in the comments. We're looking forward. We'll have more content coming. We have some great topics coming up.
Yes.
So thank you very much. And here at Love, Life, and Luggage, we say let's love again, embrace growth, and journey on.